Hello, everybody. It's me, Chad, Polynerdic, TTRPG Talk Time. Yeah, uh, we've done a lot of video game stuff recently. If you're watching our YouTube channel, you've seen a lot of it. A lot of Coral Island, a lot of other things. But right now, in this moment, I'm inspired to talk about tabletop RPG stuff. Namely, this is going to be the first video in what I plan on being a series of videos about my favorite non-Wizards of the Coast 5e stuff. I am a 5e player. It was my first real edition. I tried playing 3 and 3.5, and it just never really clicked. For whatever reason, it just never clicked, much to my friend's chagrin. But 5e I got. I don't know if it was Critical Role and other actual plays that like helped me see it better. I don't know. I really don't know why, but 5e clicked with me. So I've been playing 5e for about 3 years, and I've been kicking this idea around for a while. So this is partly an intro to the entire series. Also, this specific book that you can see over my shoulder there. I've wanted to talk about how there are so many excellent books in 5e that Wizards of the Coast had nothing to do with. And I've been toying with this concept, top 10 list, break it down by type of book, just do monster manual type books and setting books and rule supplement books, whatever. But today during lunch, I watched this video right here. It's a video from Matt Colville. As you can see, MCDM, they are the publishers of that book. And he talks about the edition wars and, the interplay between the money people at companies and the designers and how they don't get along, and how the money people don't care about rule books and design. They just keep the brand as close to normal as possible, while the designers are like, look, we know all these things are off with it. We think if we do it again, we can do it better this way. And then you've got the new players and the old players, and how the old players are all like, I know these rules, therefore these rules are the best rules. And the new players are like, these rules are new, they're the best rules. And how that whole messy dynamic of our hobby is. Great video. Go watch it. But because of that video, I want to talk about this book. Flee Immortals, the MCDM monster book. It gets to be the first one we talk about in this new series I'm going to try to put out by the end of the year. 5e is going away, kind of, in 2024. We're seeing a new-ish take. It's 5.5, whether Wizards wants to call it that or not. It's 5.5, just like 3.5 was 3.5, just like 4e had Dungeons and Dragons Essentials. It's an iterative version of it. This isn't the big change, Go back and watch. Once you're done with this, go back and watch Matt's video. It's amazing. He gets into all of that, and it's just fantastic stuff. But today, right now, we're talking about his book. He himself said in that video that he no longer plays 5e. He's moved on to other stuff, and is designing his own game. MCDM is designing their own game. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a version of this book for that once it's out. That would not surprise me. But anyway, Flee Immortals, the MCDM monster book. The Overmind there on the cover, that is their version, OGL free version of a Beholder. I'll show you the art in the book in a moment. Let's switch over to the other side, where here we have the table of contents. Now, this book is more than just a monster book. It brings in some new rules. It brings in action-oriented creatures. Minions are back, something that I guess was in 4e. I never played 4e, but he shifted minions over into 5e. Retainers, which are a concept that comes from the Strongholds and Followers book that they put out, which is literally about that, about making it more 5e friendly to build a fort a castle, a whatever, a base, and have retainer NPCs. Something that 5e themselves, or Wizards of the Coast themselves, are now adopting with 5.5. I'm interested in seeing how that goes from a distance, namely without spending money on it. Talks about encounter building. I got to zoom in each time we change pages, though, so... creatures have types: minion, skirmisher, solo, soldiers. Goes into the encounter building, the theory of encounters per day, all of that. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of that in this video because I am still kind of a baby DM. I've been DMing for like 3 years. I don't use the encounter rules when I'm building encounters, but mostly because I play with also baby players. So we're all kind of learning it together. So here we have creatures, right? We got their version of frog folk. You've got their take on the basilisk. They change how petrification works. This book also has, as you see here, companions. So like if you want something that's beyond the standard ranger companions, or are playing their class, they have a class that's like a beast keeper type class. It provides that information for you. Here's their take on bugbears, chimeras. See, you can have a chimera companion in their rule set. They created a whole new type of devil setup here, kind of really leaning into the concept of them being legal characters, you know, big into contracts and whatnot. They did some dragons, big epic dragons. You know, they didn't do like, here's new takes on chromatic or whatever. They did. I mean, look at that art. Look at that beautiful dragon art. I love a good dragon, and that is beautiful. That is beautiful art on their part. I cannot scroll it without being on this screen over here, though, so bear with me. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Does it have alt text on it? Did I just see that? It does have alt text on it. I just noticed that. That is awesome. They got some hags. Specific name tag at that. Their take on the green hags. Their hobgoblins is one of my favorite. Back up to the art. They took hobgoblins in a different direction in this book, and they made them fiendish. They have ties to fiends, devils, demons, and whatnot, and I love that as a concept. I love hobgoblins. I'm not big on the D&D 5e goblins. There's just something about the hobgoblins and goblins in 5e I don't like. I like these ones. They're just really cool from a design standpoint. Bloodlord Varrox is the one that yeah, see, blood infused weapons. And then you have the different types. This is the thing that this book really excels at, and we'll use hobgoblins as an example here. You have your minion hobgoblin, the brand bearer. You know, it's got 12 hit points, wears hide armor. It's got a proficiency bonus of 2. It's not the strongest. It's not like particularly strong at anything. It's worth 225 XP if that's how you're handling leveling. It has its actions. The support Death Captain variant of Hobgoblin, a little stronger. All their different stuff. It's got a multi-attack. It's got a Blight Blade. commands allies. Once a day, it can. It and an ally can, within 30 feet of them, can move up to their speed without provoking opportunity attacks. It can hide as a hidden gift as a reaction 3 times a day. It can turn an ally invisible. Cool. There's some more killer art. I mean, look at that. That's what the Blight Blade looks like. Which, if we want to scroll back up, yeah, slashing and necrotic damage. So that fits. I don't know about you, but when I think necrotic energy, it's either shadowy magic or purple flames. It's just where my brain goes. I don't know about you. As you can see, this fella has been collecting hands along with the skulls. Got a fire runner, which is the skirmisher class. Got an artillery class. They tend to be, they're your long range. You get some more minions, CR 1/2 minions. An ambusher, which is like the rogue villains, enemy type things. They're the sneaky stabby kind. Got a nice poison blade. Soldier class, that's a cool looking variant of a hobgoblin. More hands. They have a thing with hands. The war mage. That's the controller type. Rain Hellfire. Spell Siphon. They teleport people around. Then you get into some fiendish allies, like this ambusher class here, or this fella. Look at that demon. That's where this book excels. Because too often, when you look at a 5e book, you get, like, this is the generic orc stat block. This is the generic goblin stat block. And Flea Mortals does a great job of giving you options as someone who needs to be planning the encounters and stuff. It's like, you know what, I could have 10 orcs in this encounter, 6 orcs in this encounter, or I can have one hobgoblin, commander tier character, 2 of these artillery ones, and a bunch of minions. And it just adds a bit of flavor that the standard 5e books were lacking. And to an extent, some of the Kobold Press books. We'll talk about some of them in the course of this series. They do a good job also, but we're talking about MCDM right now. I don't want to digress. I don't want to get into talking about other people's things while we're talking about this brilliant book here. So let me find the next bit I wanted to show you. The human section does a really good job of talking about why some humans are villainous and whatnot, because there's a tendency in D&D to make all the bad guys, dragons and beholders and these great unknowable things, when we all know from just a 10-minute look at the news that humans are awful too, and we could be bad guys as well. We can be great bad guys. We can be great soldiers in an enemy's army. These could be soldiers in a dragon's army, for a matter of fact. You got brutes and minions. The Baron character, death cultists with a silly hat, guards, knaves. See, it just goes on and on and on. Just keep back and forth while I do things. Much like on the cover, where we were talking about the legally distinct beholder, they do this a number of times in this book. Forgive me, anyone from MCDM, if I'm wrong on this, but I sincerely feel like this is their take on a legally distinct. I'm completely blanking on the name. Shit, the cat that kind of teleports and the tentacle cat thing. Oh, what is it called? I feel like an idiot. You know what I'm talking about, and if I had the time to edit this video, I would cut here, and it's this. Displacer Beast. There we go. I got there. This is their take on the Displacer. This is their take on the Displacer Beast. The the light bender. Oh my god, that was embarrassing. I completely, totally, like, it's right there, and no, it's not. Beast Heart. That's the name of their Beastmaster class that they've created. Because here you go, Lightbender Companion. Their take on Lizard Folk. Let's take a look at their kobolds. Where were they? They're right there. Pretty similar in design to the current 5e iteration of kobolds, with slightly more draconic looks to them. Something about the 5e kobolds, as much as I love them, they definitely have like a slight like doggishness to them. Goblins in MCDM. I'm trying to find a decent image of one. I didn't like that one. Again, the same thing. Minions, artillery, all of it. Here we go. Overminds. Where's the art? Give me the art, please. The art is amazing. Nope. Even creatures like Odoyugs got the eyeballs. Instead of being on stalks, they're like free floating little tentacle things. Where's the art? Here we go. There's the art I was looking for. Look at that. I love a beholder. Beholders are one of my favorite aberrant monsters in D&D. Fully owned by Wizards of the Coast. Cannot be used elsewhere. This is a good workaround. Instead of one eye, it's got 6 eyes on its face. One big center eye and several going around. Instead of eye stalks, it's got free-floating little eyeballs around it. It's got armor on its face. It's got tusks. It's got several rows of teeth. It's even got weird piercings. It is a beautiful monster. It's got tentacles, too. What's a good aberration without tentacles? They do that several times through this book. You've got these. You've got the Displacer Beast variant thing that they have. There's things called Time Raiders, which are like a cross between Githyanki and the race that Goro is in Mortal Kombat. Case in point. Make sure that's showing right. I'll make sure my big head's not in the way. There you go. Yeah, see? 4-armed, yellowish brown skin. They travel through time as opposed to the Astral Sea, which one can argue is kind of the same thing. And then, what else, real quick? The Voiceless Talkers, which are basically their version of Illithids, Mind Flayers. That thing is amazing. Look at that. That's this book's version of the Intellect Devourer. It's better. And then here's their Voiceless Talkers. Tentacles, purple in color, evil. They use psionics. It's awesome. That's all what chapter 1 is. It's just creatures. Chapter 2, you get environments, which is great. I love this aspect of it because you get different environments, different monsters for the environments. Let me find. Like you get, here's an enchanted forest, right? You have your enchanted forest. This is the stuff you expect in it. These are the traits. These are the layer actions that could work in an enchanted forest. Types of monsters you can get: Bone Stalker, Rot Beast, Empyrean Stag. Look at that Rot Beast, that is terrifying. Looks like something out of Grim Hollow, which is another excellent non-Wizards of the Coast book for 5e. It's just brilliant. Let me switch over here real quick. And I'll do one quick scan through here. If you haven't learned by now, I typically don't script things. I like to just talk about the thing. And that makes me a little long-winded sometimes, and it makes me a little scatterbrained, and it makes me do things like forgetting what a displacer beast is called, but it's my style. And then the third chapter is villain parties. I'll pull up one of these real quick and then switch back over to it. One of the things that I've recently fallen in love with and have started trying to implement in my adventure design is the concept of the villainous party, the rival party. If you're a Critical Role fan, you know that Matt likes to do this on occasion. We had that very briefly in this current campaign, and a little bit in the second campaign with the Tomb Takers. It's what it says in the branding: rival party. It's a party of adventurers that have some sort of conflict with your main party. Usually, if you're doing balance, it's you got 1-1 people that can counter each other. Two sides of the same coin, whatever. It doesn't even have to be that way, but ultimately, it's a party that runs contrary to your party, your player's party. In campaign 3 of Critical Role, there was a moment where they were doing like a heist that became like a competition between them and another party. The end of Critical Role Season 2 dealt with a party that was trying to do a nefarious thing, and then the players, Mighty Nine, are trying to stop them. It's a great tool, in my opinion, for storytelling, and this book gives you some villain parties. I won't get into them. There's some problematic stuff in there that they do flag, like, not problematic is probably the wrong word, triggering maybe, like I have plenty of players that, and myself, that don't like certain plot elements to be included, and MCDM did a great job here of like, hey, the way these are written, this party touches on corpse abuse, necromancy, whatever, like things like that. Things that you might have decided at session 0 to not include in your game. And then the final chapter to wrap this very high-level overview over is psionic powers. They include psionic spells. For those of you that missed that from older editions of D&D 5, of D&D 3.5, I think. Excellent book. Cannot recommend it enough. I forget what the price is right now. Oh man, again, preparation beforehand is handy, isn't it? MCDM. Pulling it up over here. Very exciting stuff. MCDM shop. Currently, right now, Flee Mortals is the PDF is $40. And you can buy the book with the PDF currently $69.99, which is a lot. It's really worth it though if you're still playing 5e, or if you're looking at stuff from 5e, waiting on other stuff, and looking for ideas. Inspiration is in itself a great thing. I cannot recommend it enough. It is worth every dollar if you have said dollars. Earlier in the year, I did. I've had this book for a while. I think it is worth your time to get. Matt does great stuff. He's been in the industry for a very long time, both as a player and a designer. This is a top-notch product. I cannot recommend Flea Mortals enough. Worth noting at this point, this is not paid advertisement, by the way. This is just one of my favorite books. I'll do the Vanna White thing. Pick this up if you're into monster books. If you play TTRPGs and just want some inspiration, there's good stuff in here. I personally probably would have never thought to make Hobgoblins fiendish related. I think that's a great twist on them, being goblinoid / fae. Like making them have deals with devils, and then to go deeper into the devils and have them, spell out their contracts. There's actual mechanics in here that I didn't mention about contracts with devils and summoning devils and the ways that can go bad, the things that can happen if you fail while summoning a powerful devil. Anyway, I went on almost 30 minutes about this book. Check it out. I highly recommend it. Yeah, that's it. Stay tuned to the Polynerdic YouTube channel, polynerdic.com, our blog. This very playlist that this in, the playlist of TTRPG stuff. I'm going to be covering a lot of stuff. I'm not sure what's next. I might do a setting book next or a rules supplement book. I've got a really nice rule supplement one that I wanted to do a video on, so I might actually do that next, now that I think about it. So just stay tuned, see what I come up with. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, and I'll see you next time as I give you another meandering video about tabletop stuff.